Well, let's have an early morning trade, shall we?
Wait. Matron, take them away.
And a warm welcome to one and all. If this is your first time here, big fella, that is the Scruffy Trader. And what am I doing? Well, I'm sitting in the dark. It should be lovely and bright outside because we're in the summer. But I live in the UK, so that was Friday, and it looks like we're heading our way into winter because it is horrid out there. But got my coffee, got my charts, and life is pretty good. Well, sort of good. I'm feeling a bit old today. My daughter is 30 today, so that makes us ancient. Bloody hell. Better make some money, because it cost a bloody fortune this weekend. Right, what are we doing? Well, let's find out, shall we? Well, I'm currently in the DAX at the moment, and I'll explain for why in just a tick. Now, I've already give the guys a heads up of what I'm doing. If I drag this down. I make this engine every morning, or strength sheet, and I hand it out to the guys so they know what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, and then I do videos to the how and why. I'll show you that in just a sec. At the moment, I'm only looking at the DAX, and then I have these three pulled out to look throughout the day till I hit my target. My target is anywhere over 200 quid. It's a very simple principle, this. It's a filter. And the thing with trading is if you don't use filters, just reduce the markets that you currently look at. Now, I look at all 28 pairs. I do look at the indices. And I also look at a couple of commodities. And if I didn't have the filter in place, I'd be at it all day. All right. The DAX, it's the first go-to market I look at on a morning. I look at that and I have a good look at the FTSE and I look to see which one is the better. It's normally the DAX at the moment, and it has been for about a year, whereas a year prior to that, it was kind of the FTSE. So it's horses for courses. And again, it's a filter. You're looking for your best candidate. And what's your best candidate? Well, the one that you can get in and out quick and be paid. Simple as that. Then what I'm looking at is the strongest versus the weakest, what kind of change of strengths they are, to see if there's movement within the market. Not the direction, the movement. And then once I've filtered down into the products that I'm going to look at, I'll then look at the bias. Because I go into a day trade market neutral. I don't go in with a predefined direction from sort of the main trend, if you like. Why? Because the oscillations within a day can be big enough that they can pay you. All right. So I look for the day bias as opposed to the overall bias. Hope that kind of makes sense. Anyway, so that's what I'm looking at, and I've given them that. And as you can see, we are pushing up very nicely. Now, where do I tell these guys? Well, it's always in the Scruffy Squad. There they are. There it is there, 7:30. I set up the DAX trade idea with the how and the why I'm going to trade it. Okay, so it's done before the trade is taken. And the guys in here, well, they have their own interpretations. There's Darren. Morning to you, my friend. Hope you had a great holiday. Putting in his 2 penneth after my video. And that's what they do all day. All right, they have a bit of a chat, and it's a good community, because not only are we sort of helping each other trading, we're helping each other in life by having a bit of merriment and lifting each other up when we're down. We've started doing our squad travels, where if we're out and about, we can sort of see exactly what's going on, put human faces to each other. Because when I go into some of the other Discords, well, when I'm saying I go into them, I don't so much, because I don't particularly like them. I just find them full of moaners and complainers looking for excuses for failure. There's a good excuse for failure. You don't listen and you're no bloody good. And then you twist about it. And if somebody's seen to be doing good, you stick the knife in. I won't allow that in my Discord. It is shared learning and you're there to lift everybody up. There's all right having a disagreement, but when it descends into mourning and whinging and sort of kicking the boot into somebody, no, that's not a good environment. It's an awful environment. So that's why I like my Discord. I'm very proud of the guys, and they're all coming on leaps and bounds. You know, we all have our moments, and even me, I don't hit the nail on the head every time. Well, I did with her, and then she's hit me ever since. But, oh God, see that? She's hit me again, boys and girls. She hit me again. Little tap. See what I mean? She doesn't deny it, does she? Never mind. I'm henpecked, you know. I'm terribly henpecked. Right. What are we doing? What is this all about? Right. Well, the first trade of the day is the DAX. It's currently in. It came into the zone I was after, and off it went. Now, I would have liked to have got in a little bit earlier, but the signal for me to get in wasn't there. And I like price to come to me. So I wanted to see the explosion. See, that didn't close above the zone. See the explosion. And then get into it. So I was a bit late to the party. The gap you see is I like to be above the spread as well. And where did the idea come from? Well, this is on a 15-minute chart, but if I go up the charts, you will see that I saw this, kaboom, and you had your hammer come in, then you see your big overextended candle. And I touched on this earlier on yesterday in a video about trap candles. Defined the range within it and then just carefully watched it. Now, this happened on Friday afternoon, so I was watching to see what would happen this morning to see if it's going to break out of the range that it created. Well, it did, through the early hours of Sunday. So that gave me the view that maybe this is going to the upper side, which you can see that it is. As we came into the early morning, we have our 5 o'clock candle. Well, obviously I was in bed. And then we had the 6 o'clock candle where I wanted to see it close down. And then I wanted to see a breach of this candle. And that's kind of why I was waiting, because I wanted to see if the momentum was still to the upper side, which it was. And then I just wanted an ignition candle, which was that big 15-minute that you saw. And then off we go into the trade. Very, very simple idea based on this move. Now, why are we moving up to the upper side in the first place? Well, you can see it was kind of in a loose. It worked its way down, but if we come up to this, it's kind of loose in its trajectory. It found its levels down here. And then from there was a massive scream up, huge amounts of volume. Then a substantial drop that didn't continue, you know. So whereas you can see this and it's kind of loose, that was pretty sustained. And then it didn't continue with it. So that tells you it's pushing up to the other side, making this level very strong, which marries up to the tops of this level. And then you just follow the levels. Simple stuff, guys. Simple stuff. So we're at 7:45 at this moment in time. I'm going to give it another 5 minutes to see what it's doing. Then I'll probably kill it and then come back to it after the open. because the one thing I don't want is for it to slam back on itself and give away profit. All right, so I'll just leave the chart running. I'll do my trades through the day, and as soon as I've done 200 quid, I'll come back and give you a little bit more chitter chatter. Okie dokie. Well, boys and girls, I've been stopped out. I was watching what was going on, and there's been a change of dynamic on the markets. Been working it out. It's flipped over to a sell, and what happens now is I have no trades, so I've only got to wait. Now I could leave this all day. It might take till this afternoon to come into play. I don't have anything running, and it's pulled out 40 quid for, well, I was in the trade about 15 minutes, 15, maybe it's 20 minutes or something. I don't bloody know. Not long anyway. And it's okay. Now, I don't like trading on a Monday at the best of times. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it for now. I'm going to toddle off, have another coffee, grab some breakfast, and I'll come revisit this again after 9. But as you can see, the sheet was correct in its analysis of when I replugged the figures in at 8 o'clock that this is going to sell off, and it certainly is. And it's another reason why I don't trade opens. Now, I don't like to trade opens because they're unpredictable, and you might think you'd be able to preempt the markets and everything. Trust me, you can't. Not at our level. We're better off trading aftermaths than trying to sort of predict what we think might. Well, it's just a coin toss, really. So, but if you can see the move, you can see the acceleration, then you got a simple choice. You either go with it or you go against it. You know, and I know that sounds simple, but trust me, it's a lot easier than trying to sort of figure out the burst in the first place. You know, let it happen. And then when it stops at a level, then make your choice. And you'll find trading is a lot easier that way. You know, I'm trying to sort of put it into simplistic terms. I have a certain setup and a certain way that I trade, as you see. And over the years, it's made me consistent. And that consistency is paying me quite regular. What the difference is, I'm quite disciplined in what I'm looking for, but I don't outstay my welcome. I understand that a day trade is short term, and it's a case of getting in and getting out, and that's it. Now, I watch it in a lot of, well, I used to watch it in the forums, and they're always talking about, oh, it's got to be 4-to-1, and I've got the perfect system. You haven't, because the guys who talk about this don't make any money, and they're chasing a unicorn. What you've got to kind of get your head around is the market is very cruel. And if you try to stay in it for a long time, you'll find out how cruel that market is. And your better bet is to stay under the radar. Get in, grab a little bit, get out, but make certain the little bit is enough to feed you. You know, because those crumbs that the big boys leave behind are exactly what I say they are, the crumbs. If you're trying to get the whole loaf, they're stronger than you, and they will knock you out the game every time. So that's kind of my best advice. Anyway, I may do another video later on today when I go back to market, but this one's done. Paid. The analysis I did for the boys earlier on, and girls for that matter, because there is boys and girls in the group, was correct. When I redid the sheet, which I had told them what I was doing. If I flick this back. Just flick this back over just so you can quickly see it. That is their bypass. Gave them the sheet and the update of what the new biases are, which I do throughout the day. Why do I keep showing you that? Well, I'm sick of bozos pulling me apart, to be honest. So I back up everything I do, everything. That's why on a weekend I often show you a statement if that's what you want to see. Not so much showing you my bank accounts anymore because, well, let's be honest, that's personal to me, and had another bozo pulling apart sort of other bits and pieces of my income. You're going to show me your income. You show me your credit card statement. You show me your credit card number. Sometimes the mind boggles at some people, but it's what makes the world go around. So I'm going to leave it there. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.